How to create a bulleted list in an HTML file. When you need to create a bulleted list in your web page, you will use what's called an unordered list tag. It's a tag with a very strange name, but it's very easy to implement and it's quite useful. Going to our HTML file, we'll open it up in a browser first so we can see what we're doing. And then we're going to open it in our text editor. Great. Now let's just get things straightened out here. Okay. Now, as usual, all content goes between the open and closing body tags. So all of our code will go here in this lesson. We'll start out by creating the container. This unordered list container just simply tells the browser that there's a one or more items in a list coming. So we'll create our opening and our closing unordered list container. If we save our work and then go to the browser, we'll notice that there's nothing there because that code, the open and closing UL tags, are simply a container. They don't actually create the list, they just create the foundation for the list. We'll need at least one item in our list to truly have a list. What we'll need to do to create that is to create an open and closing list item tag. So here's our opener, and here's our closer, and inside that will be our first item. Let's save our work, go back to the browser, refresh, and there's our bulleted item. As you can imagine, creating multiple bulleted items is quite easy. We can cheat a little bit and do the old copy and paste here. We'll save our work, go back to the browser, refresh, and we've got a list of items. Looking pretty good so far. Now, a list of items that all say item doesn't sound very real-world-ish to me, so let's create a list that actually represents something you might do in the real world. Let's create days of the week. So I'll select that. I'll do a little copy and paste cheating here. Delete that. Okay, and the last day of the week. Sorry for my sloppy typing. And we'll go back to the browser, refresh, and there we've got our unordered list, otherwise known as a bulleted list. As you can see, just to recap, any bulleted list, or otherwise known as an unordered list, must be contained within a UL container, so an opening and closing UL tag, and then each item in the list is contained inside of an opening and closing LI or list item tag, and then one or more list item tags create our list. And that's how you create a bulleted list in an HTML file, or otherwise known as a web page. In an upcoming lesson, we'll talk about an ordered list, which is basically a numbered list. But for now, that's creating a bulleted list in an HTML file.